In the 2022-2023 school year, approximately 12 million students, about 1 in 4, were chronically absent, meaning they missed at least 10% of the school year. That's actually a staggering increase since pre-pandemic levels. This isn't just a temporary glitch either. This is a national trend, and it's changing the way schools operate. But here's the good news. I've seen schools fighting back and actually making real gains here. In this episode, I'm going to share 3 proven strategies that are actually working to get students back in class. Stay tuned for the Traveling Principal Show. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm Joe Clausey, your host of the Traveling Principal Show. I was up in northern Idaho recently. Small town, right near the border. I met a dad and his teenage son near a town called Sandpoint. Super polite, very thoughtful, great place, great people. And then he dropped this on me. We got chatting about schools, what we did for a living, etc. And he decided to tell me right away, we pulled my son from public school last year. It just didn't align with what we believe in anymore. So I asked him to explain. He said things that he didn't agree with were everywhere in the schools, such as the books they were doing in the classes, the topics that some of the classes were covering, even the culture amongst the students, they did not agree with. He went on to say that they just couldn't do it any longer after a bunch of complaints. His own kid didn't want to go back to school. That's how bad it was getting. And so they pulled him out and they homeschooled him. Here's what floors me, you guys. They're not alone. This wasn't some outlier. As of most recent data, approximately 8.9% of Idaho families with children under the age of 18 have at least one homeschooled child, positioning Idaho amongst the top 3 states with the highest homeschooling rates in the United States. This is also nearly double the national average, as according to NCES reports, School Choice in the United States, published in 2019, the percentage of homeschool students in the U.S. was approximately 3.3% in 2016. Idaho, though, leans right into it, you guys. Their education system is flexible, and families trust options that they're given. And here's the transition. At least in Idaho, kids are home, but they're homeschooling. In most places across America, kids aren't going anywhere at all. So what is chronic absenteeism? Let's take a dive. Nationally, chronic absenteeism nearly doubled from 15% in 2018 to 31% in 2021. Now, we did have the pandemic, but then in 2022, it was 28%, and then only slightly improved in 2023 to 26%. And it's not just about, though, the absences. It then becomes disengagement. In 2023, 61% of U.S. schools reported extreme levels of chronic absenteeism. So what's driving this? Mental health challenges, families feeling disconnected, and honestly, some schools still haven't reestablished the purpose and belongings that students need to want to go back to school. But schools can respond, you guys. As the traveling principal, I go into schools constantly, and here are 3 moves that I'm seeing in schools that they are doing to fight chronic absenteeism that's working right now. Number 1, advisory periods. These build real relationships when they're done correctly, such as having students stay with these teachers throughout the entire time that they're in that school and not just get a brand new advisory teacher every year. Also advisory periods that have curriculum. Also advisors during those advisory periods that actually go through the motions of checking in with those students on a daily, weekly, and regular basis. 2, two-way texting platforms do make a big difference. Different platforms like SchoolStatus, TalkingPoints, and Remind that all allow real, multilingual conversations between families and staff. Far more effective than one-way robocalls, you guys. Those are just checking boxes. We want to really actually communicate here. In today's world, we all would rather text. So if you have somebody meeting with these kids regularly and we have a way that we can communicate with the families all the time through a text message, here's another thing that we could do for our staff so we can bring everybody into the loop and make sure everybody has real data. Live attendance dashboards, you guys. Whoa. There are some companies such as Infinite Campus and PowerSchool, as well SchoolStatus attendance, that can help leaders flag patterns early and then intervene before the students fall off the radar and the absences become chronic. Here's a challenge for you guys. Ask your team this week, are we building a school that students want to show up to? Or just hoping that they will. There's a huge difference because when students feel seen, heard, and missed, they show up. Try one of those 3 things. I guarantee you it's what I've been seeing in schools that's really working. These live dashboards make a difference because then the staff have that data right there at their disposal daily, and then they can share it out through these text messages to the parents, to the advisors. They can communicate to the teachers. The teachers can then communicate this to the students, and we have this great loop of communication that we've established, all revolving around trying to get these students to come to school as a team. Please share this video with another educator that you think needs to hear this. If 61% of schools only a couple of years ago were struggling this bad with our chronic absences, there's a good chance you know someone. Please like and subscribe to this channel to stay current with weekly resources. And as always, if there's something that you need specifically, just reach out. Joe@travelprincipal.com.